Personally, it's been really good. Coming back from injury, it's been a long time. Been out of football for about a year and a half. So for me, the main thing was just coming back steady, trying to grow into the season. But to kick off the way I have and we have, it's been amazing.
And for you as well, it's a bit of a change because you're moving from across the water. How have you found adapting to life in Belfast and Northern Ireland so far?
It's been seamless almost. I lived in a few cities in England, so it's pretty similar. There's a little difference here and there, but it honestly just feels like an extension of England, and that kind of helps in terms of not feeling like too unsettled, and it doesn't feel too different from what I know, having lived in England for nearly 10 years. So honestly, it's been really smooth and really easy, and the people around have made it really easy for me as well.
And I think it's maybe a story you've told before, but getting the move to Glentoran, how does that sort of come about and happen for you?
Honestly, it was almost out of the blue. As I said, I was out for a year and a half with an ACL, MCL injury, and just trying to, rehab all of that, make sure I get it all right and there's no lasting effects of that. And then got to about this time last year when I was really ready to train full time and being in a team environment, because up until then I've been training on my own, just going to my own sessions with a goalkeeper coach and just trying to get up to a really basic speed. And then from then on I needed the push to get into a training environment with a full team. And what happened was my agent got in contact with Michael Doherty at Derry City. He was really happy to have me to train with the squad and to have me around the boys, and thanks to him I was there for about 2 months. 2.5 months of training, and he was really happy, and thanks to him he helped me get up to speed properly. And then he just mentioned, look, you need to go and play, and whether that's at Derry or somewhere else, said, look, you need to go and earn a contract. And it came around that as I was training with him, he mentioned that Glentoran have inquired about goalkeepers, and I will be possibly looking for 2 goalkeepers this summer. And he just said, look, I'm going to speak to Declan because I know him personally, and I'm going to put in a good word for you and see what happens. And what happened was, he got a call back and said, look, can we bring him down and have a look at him? And trained with Elliot, and Declan was watching, Paul Miller was watching, and after the session they said, look, you look like you're moving fine, and we like what we see, so we'd like to bring you in. And a couple of weeks negotiations, I went home, spent some time with family for the last time, and then in the middle of June I just moved over.
And what was sort of your first impressions of Glentoran and sort of the Sports Direct Premiership? What's your first impressions of football here?
Honestly, I've known about the league, I've known about the club. I know it's a big club, a historic club. My agent had another goalkeeper here a couple of years ago, so I've heard the stuff that it's a decent club. It's a club that needs to be back where it belongs, and there's been years that they've struggled and the results haven't been showing what the club deserves, and I think we're just trying to put that right and trying to help prop the club back to where they belong, which is at the top of the table, winning trophies.
And the season so far, really successful time so far in the cup competitions. You've won one, you're in the final of one, and you've progressed in the Irish Cup as well. What do you sort of put the success in cup competitions down to this season?
I think cup competitions especially, it's a one-off game. You have to be on it on the day, and from the first minute till the 90th or 120th minute, and then possibly penalties. So what we did in the County Antrim Shield was just, you can see a never die attitude in the boys. Even if we go 1 down, 2 down, at the beginning of the season we weren't coming back from losing situations, and then slowly throughout the season more belief started to appear in the boys, and now we can see even if we go a goal down, I don't think there's that much of a I would say nervousness. I think we know that we can still come back from even 2 goals down, and I think that's really important in cup competitions, because you're not going to get another weekend to put it right and make up points. It's what happens on the day, so we have to just be ready for everything. And I think the boys have showed that we got the fight, the character, and again it's that never die attitude, because it might be the 90th minute, it might be the 96th minute, we'll score a winner and we can win any game.
And success in cups, the Bet McLean Cup, victory against Dergview, Linfield at the National Stadium, and then victory against Crusaders in the semi-final. Talk to us a wee bit about those victories and getting through those games to get through to the big occasion that is the final.
I think the Derby game was one of those where you could see that we weren't at our best. But again, we got the goal and we defended, and we still pushed to get that second and third, but we couldn't. We just, on the day, we just weren't right. We weren't 100%. But sometimes the sign of a good team is, even on your bad days, you win games. And then we got the Linfield game, which was again a really tough battle at Windsor Park. They pushed, we pushed. They had a few chances. We managed to weather the storm, and then again, James Douglas, 84th minute, I think, pops up with a strike inside the box, and again, it's a cross that's deflected, and one of our boys goes to head the ball, even though he knows he's not going to get there, but just to put off the defender, and then that gives us a nice bounce for Dougie to hit the winning goal. So, and then even after that, weathering all the attacks, Linfield were chucking bodies into the box, and we dealt with them. And then the Crusaders game was another one where, we went one up, they equalised, and then, to go extra time, and then they score again when we thought we won the game, to then go on to win the game. I think it was one of the late winners. So we scored so many late winners, it's almost like it gets a bit mixed up, and I can't remember which one's which. But again, it's just that attitude of, even when we concede and we get a setback, we will go again and we will fight again. And it's really important that we can bring that again against Cliftonville, because things are not always going to go our way. It's a 90-minute game. We might be, weathering the storm for 15, but then when we do go up the other end, we need to make sure we use our chances.
And taking a wee step back, Declan Devine as manager and the attitude that he sort of instilled in this team, he's a passionate guy, but what's he actually like to work under as Glentoran manager?
Personally, it's nice to have an ex-goalkeeper as a manager. It's usually strikers, midfielders, defenders that are giving an opinion on what a goalkeeper should be doing. But with Declan, it's a lot more different. He understands the position, but then also you see his passionate side. He instills that in the boys, that you can play however you want. The main thing is we need to run, we need to fight, we need to give everything on the pitch. And then after that, once we do that, then we can express ourselves and, make sure we get our goals. And with him, it's just been a lot about professionalism in and around the building, but also at home. We got a lot of games coming up, and, he made sure to tell us that you can't be out on the drinks. Make sure you're eating well, recovering well, going to do your stretches, your yoga, your ice baths, because what separates good teams and great teams is those little few percentages that everyone adds in outside of football. So eating right, recovering right is the most important thing, and it just shows you that he's really got this attention to detail on top of his passion that I think is really apparent for everyone.
And the team inside the team that you're in, with the goalkeeping unit led by Elliot, it seems to be a real close-knit group between you, Millsy and Elliot. What's it like to have that bond between the three guys? And sort of, Millsy's played some games, you've played some games. What's it like to be in that unit at the moment? It's amazing. I think it's a really good environment for us keepers to improve. Elliot, has been there, done it. He's a club legend, so he can pass us a lot of information, a lot of experiences on. Millsy's obviously played a lot of games abroad. I've been in England a few years, so we've all got our experiences, but I think the main thing is we get on really well, and it's almost like a brotherhood, because no one's going to understand what it's like to be a goalkeeper. So we stick together and we work hard, and that basically helps each of us to improve. Millsy doing well in training pushes me to do even better, and then me pushing to do even better then pushes Millsy to do even better. And I think for Elliot, that's probably the best position to be in. You don't want goalkeepers to be besties, because then there's no working environment, but then also you want them to like each other enough that we push each other enough, and I think that's what we got. It's a close, it's a tight-knit group. We got Lorcan as well, who's out on loan, but he's in with us training quite a lot through the week, and he's really good. He's probably picking up a lot from us as all the goalkeepers. So it's just about improving and about making sure that we're all at our best whenever we play. And when Millsy's played, it's been unbelievable, and that again pushes me to when I come back into the team to do as best as I can. And sort of looking ahead to the Bet McLean Cup final, opponents are Cliftonville. Just what tests are they going to pose this Glentoran team? It's always been a tough battle when the Glens have played them so far this season.
It has been tough battles. I think we got the better of them twice so far this season, but again, it's a cup game. Anything can happen, and it's just going to be about who turns up on the day and who's more prepared to win. And that's going to be running those extra yards and running those extra miles, getting the fans behind us, with tackles, with good chances. Because if they see that we're doing well, they're going to get right behind us. And we've heard about the sellout stadium. It's going to be probably 12,000-13,000 people there, so the atmosphere is not going to be a problem. It's going to be about who can almost put the occasion to the side and just play the game and not get too caught up in in the day itself. And I think we got a great chance. We won 1 silverware already. We got the County Antrim Shield, and that's I think it helps to settle everyone that we've got one, and we've been through it, managed to win the final, and that gives us more confidence and more belief that we can go there and do it again. And I think we've got a really good record this season at Windsor Park, so hopefully on that big pitch with our style of play that will suit us.
And being involved in a game of this magnitude that's likely to be sold out, Sky Sports cameras there, it must be exciting for you as a player to be involved in a game of that scale and magnitude with a trophy on the line as well.
Absolutely. These are the days you work for every day as a kid, as a young adult, as a youth team player, as a first year pro. You're always pushing and training and doing your hardest to get to these days. And at 27, this is going to be probably one of my biggest games of my life as well. So it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a spectacle for sure. And having all those fans there, it's just going to make it that much more special. I'm going to have family come out to watch. I'm going to have friends come out to watch. So it's going to be a great day. So hopefully we can give them a lot to cheer about.
And what would it actually mean to you to get your hands on another piece of silverware personally, but also for the team?
Personally, it's just a bit of reward for the hard work. It was nearly 2 years to the day that I done my ACL and MCL, and it was about 18 months of hard work, basically just relentless work and bad days, good days, doesn't really matter. I just had to get up, get on that bike, get into the gym, do my strengthening and just do my most to get to a place where I can put myself back in the shop window. So to win this trophy and hopefully a few more this season would just be a little nod to the hard work, especially my parents who've helped me all through that. And again, for the team, it's just going to be about raising expectations. I think this club needs to be winning trophies every season, and we've got one, as I mentioned. The aim is for 3, possibly 4 this season. So we're going to do our best as always, and we're going to fight with our teeth.
And one of the most recent games against Cliftonville, you actually scored a goal. I'm sure you've replayed it in your head a few times, but just talk us through that. Like, a mad moment, goalkeeper scoring a goal, but it must have been a brilliant feeling still as well for you to actually score a goal.
Yeah, I think I call it the perfect storm because it was a storm. It's a fluke. You see the keeper, he's in his 18-yard box. I wasn't thinking about scoring. We were 1-0 down. It was probably the last minute of the first half. So my thought process was just, there's quite a bit of wind. It's rainy, it's slippery. Try and get into the box, try and create some chaos, see if one of our players can get a little touch or a little, a bad header from one of their defenders can set us up to try and score. And again, I've almost aimed at the opposite corner flag, and the wind just started drifting the ball across, and I think by the time the ball bounced was nearly on the penalty spot, and I couldn't quite believe what was happening. Again, it wasn't planned. It was just one of those perfect storms: the wind, the rain, the bounce, the place where I took the free kick from, the amount of power I put on the ball. On another day I might put less on it and it never reaches the goal. It just happens, and again, it's a fluke. It's not something that I think about. It's not something I'm aiming for, but it's a great moment. It's something I'm going to remember forever. And I've kept the boots, I've kept the gloves, so that's going to be going in a little frame later on at the end of the season.
And finally, then, you've signed a new contract at Glentoran to commit your future here for the next while. Just really hopes for the future for yourself and hopes for the future for your time at Glentoran.
Winning. I think that's the main thing for us, is winning. You see, at the start of the season, we had a bit of an inconsistent time. We got some good wins, but then we'd lose some games we shouldn't have lost. And I think that's where, that big gap opened up to Linfield in the league. But I think probably since middle of October, I think we got into a rhythm. We started playing a lot more consistently. We got a settled team. The boys have been top notch. and I think we're on a 15-game unbeaten run now. So I think that just shows that this group of players is up for the fight, and we've got the quality, we've got the right attributes to win games, which will hopefully translate to more trophies. And I think going into next season, the main aim is to win as many trophies again as possible. Consistency is going to get us that in the league, but also the hard work we've shown. I think that's what the project is. It's about hard work. It's about making sure we put this club back to where it belongs, which is right at the top.